Have you ever wondered how coffee, a seemingly simple beverage, played a pivotal role in shaping European history? The seed of this potent brew was first discovered in the wild landscapes of Ethiopia, where legend tells of a goat herder named Kaldi, who noticed his goats prancing energetically after nibbling on the red berries of a certain bush. From Ethiopia, coffee embarked on a voyage across the Red Sea into Yemen, where it was carefully cultivated by Sufi monks who cherished it for its ability to keep them awake during long nights of prayer. But the journey didn't stop there. Coffee's enticing aroma wafted its way across the Mediterranean, luring Venetian merchants who brought it back to the bustling trading ports of Venice. However, this exotic brew didn't receive a warm welcome from everyone. It sparked controversy, earning the skepticism of religious authorities who condemned it as the bitter invention of Satan. Yet it eventually won acceptance, capturing the hearts and palates of Europeans. So, coffee had landed in Europe, but how did it manage to revolutionize a continent? As coffee began to flow through Europe, it was not just a drink that was being traded, but also a revolutionary idea. In the 17th century, as the rich aroma of coffee began to pervade the narrow alleyways of European cities, a new kind of establishment started to appear: the coffee house. These were not just places to enjoy a hot beverage, far from it. They were vibrant social hubs, buzzing with conversation and brimming with ideas. People from all walks of life would gather there. Merchants, scholars, artists, and politicians, all under one roof, would sip their coffee as they exchanged stories, news, and views. And in doing so, they were doing more than just passing the time. They were engaging in lively debates, conducting business, and igniting the spark of intellectual curiosity. The role of coffee houses as centers of learning and intellectual discourse was so profound that they were often referred to as penny universities. The name stems from the simple fact that, for the price of a cup of coffee, a mere penny, one could gain access to a wealth of knowledge. Inside these penny universities, one could witness the birth of new ideas, the challenging of old beliefs, and the birth of innovation. They were places where the status quo was questioned, where new theories were proposed, and where the seeds of revolution were often planted. But it wasn't just the exchange of ideas that was significant. These coffee houses played a crucial role in the democratization of knowledge. They broke down barriers, allowing anyone who could afford a cup of coffee to participate in the intellectual discourse of the time. This was a stark contrast to the universities of the day, where education was a privilege of the few. The impact of these coffee houses was far-reaching. They fostered an environment of free thought and intellectual stimulation, catalyzing the spread of ideas across Europe. They became the breeding grounds for many of the ideas that would shape the Enlightenment and drive the scientific revolution. Thus, coffee houses became the breeding ground for intellectual thought and debate, shaping the very fabric of European society. But coffee did more than just stimulate conversation. It fueled an entire intellectual movement. In the 17th century, a shift was brewing in the social fabric of Europe. Alcohol, a depressant, had long been the beverage of choice, but as coffee, a potent stimulant, gained popularity, it began to replace alcohol in the daily routines of many. This change was more than a mere swap of beverages. It had profound implications for the direction of society. Imagine the scene. Instead of starting the day in a fog of alcohol-induced lethargy, people were waking up to the invigorating aroma of coffee. This newfound clarity of thought and increased productivity marked a significant shift in daily life. The fog lifted, and in its place, a vibrant clarity emerged. This change in beverage choice coincided with an era known as the Age of Enlightenment, a period of burgeoning intellectual activity and revolutionary thought in Europe. The correlation is no mere coincidence. Coffee houses became the gathering places for intellectuals, the hubs of innovative thinking, the birthplaces of radical ideas that would shape the future of Europe. Take, for example, Voltaire, one of the most renowned philosophers of the Enlightenment. He was notoriously a heavy coffee drinker, consuming between 40 and 50 cups a day. It's said that his sharp wit and prolific output were fueled by this caffeinated brew. And then there was Johann Sebastian Bach, the iconic composer who penned the Coffee Cantata, a playful homage to his favorite beverage. He, like Voltaire, found in coffee a source of inspiration and energy. The Age of Enlightenment was a time of great thinkers, inventors, and innovators. It was a period of exploration and discovery, of questioning and challenging the status quo. and at the heart of it all was coffee. This humble beverage, served in cups across the continent, was more than just a drink. It was a stimulant for the mind, an energizer for the body, and a catalyst for the intellectual revolution that was the Age of Enlightenment. Coffee, it seems, was not just a drink, but an intellectual catalyst that helped drive forward the Age of Enlightenment. So we've seen how coffee shaped Europe's past, but what about its present? Well, the legacy of coffee in Europe is as rich and robust as the drink itself. From the coffee houses of London and Vienna to the espresso bars of Italy, this humble bean has permeated every facet of European society. In London, coffee houses, often called penny universities, continue to be hubs of intellectual discourse and social interaction. They're places where people from all walks of life can enjoy a cup of joe while delving into thought-provoking discussions. The tradition of these coffee houses, dating back to the 17th century, still lingers in the city's atmospheric cafes, where the old-world charm mingles with the new. Meanwhile, Vienna's coffee houses have been declared an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO. These grand institutions, with their ornate interiors, are more than just places to sip a mélange. They're living museums, testament to an era when coffee was the fuel of innovative minds, from artists to scientists to revolutionaries. And let's not forget Italy, the heartland of espresso. Here, coffee is not just a drink, it's a way of life. The short, sharp shot of espresso is a daily ritual, a moment of pause in the hustle and bustle of life. The Italian coffee culture has given the world iconic concoctions like cappuccino, named after the Capuchin monks for its color, and latte, simply meaning milk. Today, coffee continues to be central to European culture and society, fueling conversations and ideas. It's not just about caffeine anymore, it's about the experience, the tradition, and the shared history that comes with every cup. From a controversial newcomer to the lifeblood of European society, the journey of coffee is a testament to its transformative power. Next time you take a sip of your coffee, remember you're not just drinking a beverage, you're partaking in history.